Three.
And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are live here on this Elite Panel Wednesday. We have three extraordinary, awesome rock stars. We have Sara she is from Arizona, right in the Phoenix area, Scottsdale. We also have Dick Crawford from California. He's in the Orange County area. And we have Chris McGarey from Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome to the show, everybody. Appreciate it. You guys can't see my studio audience, but they're right over here. Okay, just out of view. But let's go ladies first. Sara, we'll start with you. Introduce yourself. Tell us a little about yourself, how long you've been doing this wonderful job, and so forth.
Yeah, well, thanks, Rick, for having us. Excited to be here. I am in the Phoenix market, as you mentioned. I've been in the industry for just going on 5 years. So it's been a wild ride, as you can all imagine, with the market the way that it's been. So 5 years with Berkshire the entire time, and love it, enjoying it.
Awesome. We love that last part, too, with Berkshire the whole time. Awesome stuff. Great. All right, Dick, how about you, my man?
I've been in the business 20 years last month, so a little while there. It's kind of the halfway mark in my career, my overall career. So feeling good, and almost half of that has been with Berkshire. 9 years with Berkshire, so that's very good. I deal in the Anaheim Hills and Greater Anaheim area, and it is a changing market, of course, for all of us. But I truly enjoy it because I enjoy helping people figure out what kind of house they want and why. And then on the seller side, help them understand that people are looking for some solace and some retreat in their home. So it has to be a very welcoming property. And I find that people kind of get into that human side of it, and makes it fun for me.
Nice. Rumor has it you also you're in a parade every July 4th as a tall guy, Uncle Sam. Is that correct?
Yes, Uncle Sam wants you.
Nice.
Yes,
Awesome.
I'm 5'18", so I'm kind of lanky. So I make a pretty good Uncle Sam, and I ride my bike in the parade. This is the first. Actually, this year I missed it for the first time in a long time, and I got a little feedback on that. So I'm going to have to re-enlist next year.
You have to re-enlist, yes. And for those people who don't do math well, 5'18" is actually 6'6".
Thank you.
All right, I'm just here to figure it out, man. That's my job. All right, and from the lovely Las Vegas area, we have Chris McGarey. Chris, tell us a little about yourself, man. Mr. Commercial, by the way.
Right. Good morning. So, yes, Chris McGarey, Las Vegas. So I grew up in Scottsdale, Arizona, and when it was my turn at bat, I got moved over to California, and then they sent me to Vegas. So I've been in Vegas 33 years, and 24 of those years have been with Berkshire, or the original Americana. They weren't together. There was 9, and then I went off and had my own company, and then came back 15 years ago when you started. You and I shared an office together, Rick, and happy to be here. And so yes, my team specializes in commercial and actually management of properties. We rarely sell anything, so we manage anything with a landlord and a tenant and a lease. That's our job.
Right. Yes, you and Josh, you guys do a wonderful job too, and you got some really good people on your team too. I love it. Yes, my first year with the company, you and I were in that old office in Pebble that they still have the lease. We kept a bunch of us over there.
Yes.
That was great. All right, so let's get into it now. Sara, tell us a little about what you do, how you do your business, all that good stuff, please.
Yeah, so I in resale only, no commercial for me. I'll leave that to Chris. But I work with buyers and sellers. A majority of my business, I moved here 5 years ago, started real estate 5 years ago, so really started from scratch, which was exciting and also kind of an adventure at the same time. So really have focused on building relationships, not just locally, but in all the places that I've lived as well. I've relocated a lot, and I feel like that's helped me actually, just because I have connections all over the US with everywhere that I've lived. So really focusing on building those relationships and working the referral part of our business, and it's helped me get to where I am pretty quickly. So
yeah, when you move from another area, you don't have a sphere, and so you got to get right into all those activities that call you to do business, right? Which really makes you sharp quick.
It does. Yeah. And it's either, I mean, for me, it was like sink or swim. Either you're going to make it or you're not. And the not making it part was not an option. So, so it really motivated me.
It's like I did a little video this morning, and I said we should all be like ants, and that's kind of what you just described. Ants don't get up in the morning and find an obstacle and go, "Oh shoot, that's terrible. Let's go home. Forget it." Right? No, no, they go over, around, through, under. They carry like 3 times their body weight. They pack food all summer for winter. They just never give up, and
Hmm.
that's how you had to be when you moved over from
Absolutely.
right into Phoenix. Great. I love it, Sarah. Awesome stuff. How about you, Dick? Tell us a little about your business.
Very similar in the sense that I deal primarily with referrals and primarily in the residential, of course. I've had a lucky streak in the last few years of dealing a lot with sellers and not quite as many buyers. Although I love working with buyers, it's very exciting. It's just been a tough market for them. So primarily sellers these days and primarily by referral. I started the business after having done a lot of volunteer work with my church and community. So I had a good little contact list going, and it just blossomed from there. I go out and see people every once in a while to glad hand them. I call it kissing hands and shaking babies, just to kind of catch up and see what they're doing, what's in their life. And it's amazing when you just have casual conversations with people and they know you're in the business. It's amazing how business just comes right out of that, because everybody knows somebody who needs some help. And that's what my business has been based on. And it's worked out really well.
Yep. No, it is a full contact sport. You got to be contacting people, and then you do business, right?
But yeah, but when you make it fun, then it's fun for them as well.
Yes. Yes.
Admittedly, I don't do particularly well on phone calls, although with people I know really well, it's okay. But I really enjoy going out and just saying, hi, how you doing? What's going on in your life? And if you ever need any assistance or some questions answered, I'd be happy to help. So I do the real soft approach, and inevitably, again, somebody knows somebody who needs some help. And oftentimes it's a family member, and then it just goes from there. So I don't put a lot of pressure on folks, and least of all myself. I just go with the flow, and with enough people out there that I'm contacting, something always seems to come up.
Right. Awesome. I love it. Good stuff. All right. Cool. Thanks, Dick. All right, Chris. How about you, my man? I know your job is a little different, and I've also seen you win several awards nationally for your. You were number one for how many years? It must have been what, 7 or 8 in a row for number one in the country for
About nine
commercial.
in a row. Then we got beat out by Florida for a few years and ended up in number two. And then we regained the title last year. And you've always been there, always
Right.
been
And
known for something.
what's the best thing about the commercial awards every year?
The food,
That food, baby.
the food.
The food is
They always
always
have
good.
a
We were
special meal.
jokingly saying that last year. The food's the best, right? So tell us all about you, your business, all that good stuff, please.
All right, so it's kind of a repeat for people who have seen this before, but grew up in Scottsdale. My mom and my 5 older brothers moved from New York to Scottsdale. I have youngest of 7. My sister and my father stayed back east, and mom got into real estate. She retired out of Coldwell Banker. She started with Russ Lyon and Realty Execs and kind of moved around, did residential when Phoenix was small, 400,000 people. And so, I always knew I'd be in some kind of facet of real estate. Didn't really get into it till after high school. Started helping her out with her open houses and realized that this really wasn't my forte. I had older brothers that were doing commercial. I like dressing up a little bit more, the ties, and we don't do that anymore. But so I came out of college in '88, and it wasn't a good time to be doing commercial in Phoenix. We had millions of square feet that were just empty, and people were leaving like in the drove. So took a job in California, and then that ended up in Vegas. And Vegas 1991 was like Phoenix 1971. It was just getting started, and so the only hotel over 4 stories was the Mirage, which sadly is closing now. But so got here and just did commercial. Tried to do a little of everything and didn't do much of anything. And then I got focused on investment property management. No matter whether the market's good or bad, banks or owners always need somebody to watch over the property. So that's what our team's been doing for, like I said, 33 years now.
I love it.
Just
Yeah,
men.
you guys doing a great job. A lot of agents refer their rentals to you guys, and then you let them know when they want to sell. So you guys have a good partnership going with a lot of our agents. So I love it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't sell on our team. So it's, and I mean, one off maybe here. Nothing in the commercial, but we don't sell anything in commercial and some small amount of homes on the residential because all of our business, thank goodness, is referral.
Right. I love it. All right, good. Awesome, Chris. Thank you. All right, Sarah, let's get back to you. So I'm a real estate agent, or I'm new, or I'm existing, or I've been in the business for a while, and I really want to step it up and take my business and be a top producer like you guys. What is a couple things you can tell them that you should really focus on to be good at this business?
Yeah, I think a couple of things, for new agents specifically, coming out of the gate, it's very overwhelming. We all know you could sit in the office and do classes all day, which I think there's a time and a place and it's great. But I also think right out of the gate, you need to establish just two top strategies. How are you going to cultivate business? Specifically for me, not being from Arizona, having nobody, not knowing a soul, what was I going to do to drive my business? And just staying consistent with that. So I think that's a huge thing. The second thing is, not really specific to the business, but since the very beginning, I've surrounded myself with people that I aspire to be. And I think surrounding yourself with people that are doing real estate incredibly well, putting yourself in rooms that might be intimidating, just starting out, it's hard for all of us, Chris and Dick as well. There's people doing things, better than they are, and we can all grow and build in this business. That's what's fun and exciting is it never stops. We can all grow. So I think just surrounding yourself with those people that can help you get to that next level, whatever that next level is for you.
And what was your main way? Like, how do you create business? You mentioned that whatever that is, cultivated. But for you, what was that exact thing?
Yeah, so unlike Chris, I loved open houses and achieved great success. A lot of my big clients are from open houses. And from there, my second approach to open houses is just maintaining those relationships. I'm a huge relationship person. I'm great at following up with my clients. My clients become my people. So I have this whole tribe of people that, I'm top of mind and number one always. So I think open houses is one thing, but then maintaining those relationships has been my secondary. It's been incredible.
So getting people to an open house, and then they become part of your sphere, and then you work them to get their sphere and make your sphere even larger. I
Yeah.
love it. That's a great plan. And everybody should hear that. That's a great plan, especially for some people don't like just banging out phones or going door knocking. And so if you, and there's a lot of great agents in your market, and a whole bunch of agents that have done it that way as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it, Sarah. Thank you. All right, Dick, how about you, my man?
Sarah stole my answer.
Well, yours are a little different though. You go.
Yeah, it is, but she just hit the nail on the head as far as the relationships and the follow up and getting out there and doing it. First thing that I would recommend is truly knowing yourself. And we think we know ourselves, but real estate teaches you a lot about yourself. And I think we really need to know ourselves better so that we can give ourselves a little grace, as well as understand our tendencies and, of course, strengths and weaknesses and all that. But truly to understand yourself and know what is going to work for you and what really isn't, and just admit it. Because as Sarah mentioned, we just get bombarded with not just the classes, but all the different products and methods. And, oh, I can help you become a top producer in a week and a half. Just follow my system and for $49.95. And it just doesn't work that way for the vast majority of us. It's a little bit of a slog for some of us. And it's also a very deliberate, you have to be very deliberate in your pursuit of what you're doing. You got to be consistent. You can't just say it's going to happen right away. It's got to be a daily thing. So know yourself really well so that you feel comfortable what you're doing, and then pick what works for you. And Sarah mentioned that to a degree as well. Two of those things that come at us you're going to find that it works for you, because everything works, but most of it works for other people. So know yourself, pick what works for you and pursue it, and then have fun with it. Relax. It's going to come together if you're consistent about it. So have some fun with it. And if you're having fun, people are going to want to participate with you in some manner. They're going to welcome you when they see you coming, because they know it's going to be a relaxing and fun conversation to their benefit. Make sense?
If you've ever seen any of Dick's videos, he likes to have fun. Tell him a little of your themes when you do your pop buys. So I think that would be helpful too.
Okay. Yes, I do pop buys where I go by and see people. I give them a notepad and a pen, with all my branding and such on it. And I'll give them a flyer, what's going on, or maybe a helpful
Catch up.
flyer. What's that?
I said catch up.
Well, yeah, I'm getting there. And then you have a theme,
Oh, sorry.
for the season. Okay. So all that other stuff is the credibility part, that I know what I'm doing. I'm connected to the industry. And then the little gizmo I give a bottle of ketchup during the summer. And the thing on there is, if you ever want to find out what's going on the market, no. If I can ever help you catch up with the market, give me a call. And then you can say, I relish referrals, and give them a bottle of relish, or I'm the agent who cuts the mustard. So there's things like that you can have fun with it, and lower the tension a little bit when you're at the door, and people will get relaxed and want to work with you. So yes, if you ever want to catch up with the market, give me a call.
I'm your guy. I love it. Got to have fun with it too. Good stuff. All right, awesome, Dick. Thank you. All right, Chris, how about you, man? Couple of top things you tell people that to be successful in this business.
So just to clear up real quick, Sarah, I didn't. It's not open houses I didn't like. I just didn't like running across Scottsdale Road with those heavy metal frame signs that they used to do back in the 70s.
I'm with you on that, Chris. It's brutal.
I was only 13 years old, and I was taking my life in my hands. So no, on commercial, what we do, it really came as there's one of your questions, which you'll ask later, but is I try to do everything my first couple of years, and I didn't do any of them. And my manager came to me and said, Chris, you really need to step it up, or it's like that. And, resentments will help you do anything. So we became good friends. I had a great manager, have a great manager now, too. And he just said, specialize. He said, generalists generally don't do well. Specialize. I mean, you ask 9 out of 10 people in Vegas what Chris McGarey and his team do, they'll say property management, because that's all we do. So I got really focused on what we do, and then I looked at where do I get those accounts? Well, people that sell real estate that don't manage property have to refer their clients somewhere to park that property while it's being held. And that was really our secret, was just to really get out there, become involved in the community, in the different associations. And I know in commercial, we have every week there's a lunch, every week there's a breakfast, and it takes a lot of energy, but you got to get out and meet those people. My mom always said, never say no to an invite to go somewhere. You never know who you'll meet. And yeah. I always take that, and take 20 business cards with you every day and come back with 20 that aren't yours. People don't do business cards as much anymore, but I still carry them. And that was it. Just really specialize, get involved. Take I've gone through the education for the designations, the NAR, CPM, CCIM, the designations in our industry. Get involved and meet people. And I would say maybe 5%, 10% of our business is prospecting, because we're really busy with referrals. Now I'm not proud to say that, and we're ramping it up a little bit, but we are busy with referrals. That's why we stayed with a residential commercial firm all these years. We could have gone to a pure commercial firm, but we love working with 1,300 residential agents, because you sell the house, the doctor, first thing they do is buy the house. Then they look for their office, or they look for their store. So we work on referrals almost all day. Most of our business is referrals, and it wasn't always like that. But you just get out and about, specialize. That's what our key is. Don't try and do everything, because you'll do nothing. Do one thing and try to do it better. And if that doesn't work, change it. Do something different. So our team does leasing. We represent tenants looking for buildings, and we represent owners looking for tenants, and then we manage property.
Yep. And there was a time early on in your career that you banged the phones and got that pipeline full and all that good stuff. Now, like you said, you can rely on repeat and referral because you've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to say. I guess cold calling's great. Who likes it, right? Nobody likes it. But yes, from '94 to '97, I was on the phone making 500 calls a week,
Yeah.
and
I
that's
remember you told me
that's
that
how I
story.
got trained. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you got to start
I hate the
somewhere,
phone.
whether you're doing
Nobody
open
talks on the
houses.
phone anymore.
Yeah.
Everything's text and email. Nobody makes phone calls. My phone rarely rings. It's text
Right.
or email.
I know today it's all, today it's social media, texting and all that good stuff. But all right.
And
Awesome, Chris.
branding.
And,
Branding.
yeah.
The red R. For those of you that don't know, the red is commercial. So if you see the red R, that's a commercial realtor.
Right.
Oh,
And you've been
wow.
president of the board and you've done the whole realtor thing too. That's how you get a lot of your business as well.
Yes, they called me back this year, so I'm back at president. I just don't think they had anybody else that could run, but they have. So I'm halfway through my term, and then my partner Josh picks up as the president of
That's
17,000 people. The commercial is
right.
only about 400 people, but this, yeah. So be
Yep.
involved, get involved, and I
Get
learned that
involved.
Well,
from
Exactly.
our founders. I learned that from Jack, Mark, and Steve, and Mark. You know, if
Yeah.
you look at the realtor building, it's their pictures are back from the when they were black and white pictures, but they got involved.
Yep. And I see your map behind you. That's actually right when it started being color, right?
That's the original commercial map from 1995. So
wow.
Of Las Vegas.
I
Yeah, that's
keep
cool.
that. Yeah, you should see it. The 215 was the anyway. That's a whole other story. But yeah, you can see how. Whoops, let me go over here. This is all Mountain's Edge, and it's all
Oh wow.
desert. And then
Now
this
it's
is
all houses.
Henderson. This is Henderson and Anthem, and it's all desert.
So
So the
that's why they
date on
used to
this
call it
map,
Hendertucky.
2001. So 20 years, it's all changed.
Uh,
I've been here 14 years and I can't tell you how much it's changed. It's amazing. So
Yeah.
same with Phoenix and Scottsdale area. It's amazing.
Hmm.
Yeah, when I lived
Okay.
in Scottsdale, Shea at Scottsdale Road, it was dirt road all the way to Carefree. Now
Crazy.
Yeah.
that was 1972, but yeah, it was all desert north of Shea. And
Yeah. The
Deborah, like I said,
first time I went to Phoenix, I missed a Goodyear exit and I actually I wasn't quite at the end of the world, but I could see it from where I was. So I had to turn around and come back. It was crazy. All right, Sarah, let's get back to you. Open houses, since you are the open house queen. Give us a little. So I'm an agent, and I'm saying, you know what? That's a great idea. I can see myself doing that. How would I do one? What would I do? How would I maximize it?
I think the first thing, if it's a new thing for agents, shadowing is huge. So shadow a couple of different agents, not the same agent, because I feel like you kind of build your tactics and your approach based on shadowing other people. But like Dick said, I mean, I think just authentically being who you are. You know, I've shadowed a lot of agents that are very formal, and I've discovered I'm just not that person. I'm very relational, and I'm there to like Dick said, have a good time, enjoy meeting people, and building genuine connections. So for me, that works. But I think, success for everyone looks different. The way that you're going to build success from open houses looks different. It's just doing the work up front, shadowing a couple people, and then really sitting with yourself and figuring out what feels right to you.
I love it. Okay, good. Yeah. And then be proactive and continue to do it and continue to do it even when you get busy doing transactions, right?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, I still do, and I'm swamped, but I still do at least the first week, and I still do my own open houses, because otherwise I know it's a missed opportunity, and it's an opportunity for me. I got the listing, so let's capitalize on it in a different way as well and try and get some buyers too.
Plus, the old thing, and I agree with that 100% too, Sarah. And the old expression, you can only make a first impression once, and how that relationship starts. Like even if you were to follow up, like if you got somebody to work it for you and they gave you a list and you were to follow up with people, it's not the same as when you meet them out there face to face, is it?
Right, exactly. It's totally different. Yeah,
Yeah.
good point.
Uh, Awesome. Good points. I love it. All right, Dick, how about you? Tell us a little about your relationship building because I know you're really good at it.
Chris brought up a really good point. Nobody makes phone calls anymore. And by the same token, half of us don't even shake hands anymore. So I think that that's a lost art in the business that deems a little revival. And the people who do that little revival are the ones that are going to win and do well. And all of that is in the name of building a real human relationship and actually shaking the hands, giving them a high five, looking them in the eye and smiling. That's really important to people. And I think in some cases, more so now than ever, because of all the things that have been happening in the last few years. It's been really tough on people. So making that human connection is a big deal. That's why I enjoy going out and seeing my clients and knocking on their door, giving them a quick text. Hey, I'm going to be in the area. If you're there, great. If you're not, I'll hang something on the doorknob for you. But making that connection when we're face to face is just really huge. And so that's what I really try to do, whether it's an open house, people I don't know, or whether it's those people who are solid clients and people who are looking or in the process, making that real human connection face to face is huge. People remember that. So that's my big deal.
They do too. I think the biggest things, Chris said one of them too, your brand and your voice, because your voice makes people, you ask them questions, there's a way to make people feel important. And let's face it, I mean, as licensed agents, whether we're in Arizona, Nevada, California, you have a fiduciary responsibility for your clients, right? It's like the golden rule. And not all agents understand that, do they?
No, and they certainly don't embody it in some cases as well. And that's a really good point. If you ask questions and you might know the answer or might have an opinion, but you really want to engage them and bring them into the process rather than just dictate to them all the time. Really ask them, hey, is everything going well? Do you understand the forms? Do you have any questions? How about that thing we did the other day? Any questions on that? And really, help them come along. Be a coach, not just kind of. Sometimes agents end up being the boss of their client. Be a coach and ask them questions. And remember, they're the boss. They're your employer. And if you make it fun for them and you're willing to help them and explain things maybe 2 or 3 times, they're going to love you. And that's what it's all about. Share the love, spread the love, and it'll come back.
Spread the love, baby. And then they tell their
Nice.
friends and their family, and then you're working with them too, like Sara said earlier.
And there's nothing like a warm referral. And Chris learned that. Boy, making 500 calls a week?
500 calls a week.
Those were not, we don't call those warm calls. Those are cold calls, and they're tough. But when you get a warm referral from someone who's spoken really well of you, and their mom or their neighbor or their business associate needs some help, that person is going to come to you already knowing you're a good person and you're a connector. And that's half the battle right there. So it's yours to lose at that point. And that's why I do it, because it's fun that way. I much prefer working with people who want to work with me than those who are a little standoffish.
Right. And when Chris used to do it too, Dick, I don't know if you know this, but you'd have to dial like this. And if you missed one, you had to start all over again. I know, because I did
you
too.
had the phone on the thing, and you
had to go.
A little microphone. Yeah.
Hi, could you get me the Joneses, please? Remember those? Yeah.
Well,
anyway, he's not that old.
It was a step up from using a megaphone out the window, so it
right,
was a little bit.
Right. Hey, I remember the days in MLS. You probably too remember this too, Chris, where you could only put one picture in MLS, black and white, from your Polaroid. Remember those? Anyway, yeah. Chris, so you said a couple of great things in there, but one of them I want you to elaborate on when you said get involved. Tell them what that means.
Right. So since I don't like to make phone calls, I can't wait to see your review of this week or this call, because it says I don't like to make phone calls. I don't like to prospect, and that's not true. I like to get out and meet people, and you know that. So I follow. I've always had a mentor, and I've always tried to be a mentor. So those are the two things. I'm very fortunate to have Mark as my mentor, and I could meet him for breakfast once a month. And it wasn't always a good breakfast. He would say, he kind of whip you into shape. So I've always had a mentor, and I've always tried to be a mentor. So I always have somebody that's following you and somebody you're following. But back on the real estate, like you said, and you made me think about it. Every time we go out, my wife and I, or anybody goes out to eat or goes out to shop, if it's a mom and pop shop or if it's a national firm, I always ask the same questions. How long have you guys been in this location? Are you experiencing what you want? Are you looking to open up any other locations? So I guess through that we get people that are we've been. You're talking to the shop owners, you're talking to the managers. Through that we also find out about it, the owner of the property, and do different things. So we network. And as far as getting involved, I've been. Such a great thing is to very few people get involved in the different associations and get those designations. You've got tons of them, and so available to you. So I've always tried to get out and be about. Go on the company. I wish we had a couple of them were canceled this year, but as you know, I always go to the summits. I always go to the national meetings, even though it's mostly residential. I meet people in Florida that send their clients to Vegas. Everybody comes to Vegas once a year at least. And so get involved, be seen, talk to people. And if somebody wants to learn, and we do this on the residential side too, we don't just take a phone number and say, we'll send you a check if we make $1. We take them in and through permission from our senior advisors here in the company, we're allowed to let an agent shadow us. Most of them don't want to. Most of them are very busy in what they do. Some of them want to, and we've got a few success stories where we actually converted a residential to what we call resi-mercial to a commercial agent. So
resi-mercial, I love it.
And you've met some of them through the years. They were in our office when we were there. So it's always be teachable and always be teaching.
Yeah, I love that. And just give me an idea, how many doors are you guys managing right now? Quite a few, right?
So we have on the residential side a little over 400, I believe. On the commercial side, as I said, about 4 million, it's 3 million square feet, which is about 68 different projects, and commercial tenants. So it's busy on that front.
Okay, cool. All right, and now I'm gonna ask a double-ended finish-up question. So Sarah, we're gonna start with you, ladies first. All right, what is your goal for this year, and what's the one thing you want to say that I didn't ask you?
Wow, that's a tough one. But so my goal this year, last year was kind of a down year for me. This year, not like a lot of people, but this year has been really great for me. So I'm more than halfway through my goal, which is incredible. I'm really excited about that. Wanted to get back to where I was before, so about 18 million, which in 5 years is pretty good, and I'm pleased with that.
Very good.
Yeah, so I'm on track to do that. So hopefully things keep moving along the way that they were. I think one thing that I was going to interject but didn't want to interrupt, as we talk about relationships, I think in this business you can't talk about it enough. But one thing that we haven't talked about, I think, is relationships just in the industry in general. So I manage my client relationships really well, but I also manage the relationships with, my lender partners, my title people, the other agents in the industry, because when an offer comes in on residential, on a listing, and if that agent knows me, there's weight and value in that because they know how I work, they know how I operate, and I really strive to make every transaction incredibly positive. So not just with my clients, I work very hard to make the full transaction smooth, seamless. I'm accessible. I answer my phone, which is rare. Just making sure that relationship across the board is super successful and positive.
I love it. Great stuff. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate that. Yeah, Dick's even giving you a round. Is that a round of applause? Yeah.
It's a high five.
Air high five too. Love it. All right. Awesome, Sarah. Thank you. Dick, how about you, my man?
State the question again. I was too wrapped up in her answer.
Okay. If you were a school bus, no, that's not it. It's what is your goal this year, and what's the one thing you'd like to say that I didn't ask you?
Goal this year is to help 12 families just move forward in their lives, whether it's a $400,000 condo or a $4 million home. I find one a month suits me just fine, thank you, because that supports my calendar and it supports the fun I want to have on the side, and it reinforces the idea that my business is here to support me in what I want to do in life, and I don't want to get too wrapped up where the business is driving me. So that's my goal for this year, a dozen, and I'm halfway there, so we're right on track. And also, in that regard, it's going to be funding my retirement, which I believe is coming in the next few years. So that's a big focus of mine. What you didn't ask me is, so Dick, what's your latest project offline? And my offline habit is photography, and I just really enjoy getting out and doing urban photography, just walking around taking pictures of fun stuff. I have a project of taking portraits of trees that I'm starting that makes me stop and take a look at nature a little bit differently than I normally would. So I'm trying to get out there and relax a little bit and focus on my photography and keep an eye on helping a few people so that I can retire on time.
I love it. So I can
Wow.
retire on time. You want to be late for your own retirement,
No bueno, no bueno.
and I can see that tree behind you.
Yes,
That's
there it
awesome.
is.
Black
There
and
it
white. I
is.
love black and white photography. I'm not going to be corny and say it looks tremendous. I won't do that to you.
Thank you.
There
No,
you go.
please don't.
Bad. I know. Terrible. All right. Thanks, Dick. Appreciate it. All right, Chris. How about you? Same question. Goal this year, and what's the one thing I didn't ask you that you'd like to say?
Okay, so our goal every year is to do better than the year before. And I know that's a canned answer, but it's generally about 10%. Maintain diamond status. We are fortunate enough to have maintained that now 11 years out of 15 and hit it again. And really to grow the team. Every year we add some, we lose some. Commercial's not for everybody. It's just you got to be patient. So it's really to grow our team, and we're on track. We were on track up until June, and one of our team members got a better offer, which we totally support. That we've had a lot of people roll through our team over the years. And the one thing you didn't ask me that I was prepared for that was if you had to do it all over again, what would you change? And I think last time I gave you the pilot story, I flew out of Scottsdale Airport. One of my jobs in teenage years was working at Scottsdale Airport on the ramp, and I took lessons to fly and wanted to be a pilot and all this stuff, but realized that real estate makes better money, and did that. So the goal is to probably not change a thing. What would I change? Because I feel that everything I've gone through, both personally and business wise, and it hasn't all been rainbows and birds chirping in the air. It's been some challenging years. 2008, I never want to repeat. Hopefully, 2025 is not going to be like 2008. Real estate's a little bit tight right now, but as I said earlier, what we do, there's always a need, and that's kind of how we've created that niche. I learned that after the S&L crisis, and I got booted out of Phoenix and had to go to California for a job. Is that the banks or the investors will always hire property managers. So one thing to change is nothing. Just keep doing what we're doing. We like the results.
I love it. I love it. Just so everybody understands, I'm looking at my list here. Chairman's Circle is the highest award we offer. I'm not going to give you the exact numbers, but it's the highest award other than the top tens and so forth that Berkshire Hathaway gives out. So congratulations. You've been getting it every year since I've been here. My 10th year. Next month, I've been here 10 years. I know it seems a little longer than that for some of you.
Be
Yeah,
careful
seems
with
like
the clock. Be careful with that clock. It's sensitive. You get that 10-year clock.
Oh, really? Okay, I'll be careful. I'm in double digits now. I got to be careful.
There you go. There you go.
All right, everybody. I just want to say, Sara, Dick, Chris, thank you very much for taking your time out today. I'm sure everybody got a bunch of nuggets out of this. As you know, I'll be playing this over and over. It'll be on my YouTube channel forever and on social media for the next 24 hours. And we'll see how well, but I guarantee you guys will get a lot of views and a lot of comments. So really appreciate you guys taking your time out today. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And if I can ever be of service to anybody in the commercial, here's a little plug. If anybody in the commercial, whether it's Phoenix or Anaheim or Vegas, feel free. Our team works with a lot of people on the commercial. we're happy to help out.
Awesome. Awesome.
Awesome. And that's the McGarey Camper Group over in the Southwest office of Las Vegas, Nevada.
And
send all
plug
your,
for Aldo
send
Martino,
all your
the best
Orange County referrals to Dick Crawford and all your Phoenix, Scottsdale, especially to Sara Weller, everybody. Thanks,
Nice.
everybody. We'll see you next
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you guys for taking your time out. Really appreciate it.
Thank you,
You
Rick.
got it.
All right. Thanks,
Thanks, Rick.
everybody. Appreciate it.